Hi guys, so we're gonna start making wefts. What we need is the alpaca hair. My friend bought this on Etsy, and she bought it unwashed and unbrushed because it's a lot cheaper than I think she said it was about $5 per ounce when it's unwashed and unbrushed. But if you buy it washed and brushed, then it can be about like $30 or $60 per ounce, which is a lot of a difference. So then she basically, when she got this stuff, was it already in the rubber bands and stuff? It was already in the rubber bands and separated. But then she had to wash it. She said she washed it 3 times using
regular shampoo,
regular shampoo and regular conditioner. So she did that 3 times, and then she brushed it using a cat brush that she found at Publix. Just a regular cat brush, and then she started at the tips, and and
to make sure the brush that it has the very, very fine metal tips with the soft squishy pad, so it gives a little bit of give.
And she started at the very ends and worked her way up. So don't start at the very top and just try yanking it out, or all of the hair will come out. So, you know, make sure to just start at the tips and work your way slowly up to unmat it.
And if it is unbrushed, you will lose hair. If it is unwashed, you will also lose hair just from washing it, just from brushing it. So don't freak out. And if you are buying unwashed and unbrushed, make sure you overcompensate in the amount that you buy for the loss that you're going to lose.
So I think she said she bought 6 ounces, which is enough for
a lot of wigs.
Okay. Like 4 to 5 or something?
Yeah, if you're stretching it out.
Okay. So it depends on how many wigs you're making, but or like how thin or thick you want to make them, but
also the size, like I was doing some Pookie Fee and some MSD size. So like the Pookie Fee, I'll probably use maybe about 2 of these.
Ounces?
Well, not ounces, but like actual tufts or whatever these are called.
About how many ounces do you think you'd need for Pookie Fee?
Probably like maybe a ½ ounce of washed and combed.
And for MSD?
At least an ounce, maybe an ounce and a half, 2 ounces. I've seen some people even buy 3 ounces, but I don't know if they bought it washed or not.
Alright, so that's what you need for the alpaca fur. You need your crappy brush, just like for the wig cap. You need your Mod Podge. And also another thing is, just to mention this, if you want to dye your hair, definitely do it after you make the wefts, because if you try doing it before, then you might lose a lot more hair than you would without the wefts, and also it might turn out kind of
uneven.
Yeah, uneven
and blotchy. It's lighter on some sides and darker on.
So make sure you do it after the wefts are made. Oh, and then eventually you're going to need scissors too. So I'll show you how to make wefts in one moment. Hey guys, so okay, for the wefts, you'll be taking one of your things of hair, and when you wash and condition it and brush it, you need to be keeping the rubber band on, or else you'll be losing a lot more hair. So what that means though is that like around the rubber band and above, it's not going to be very clean or as clean, and it won't be brushed. So everything from above the rubber band and up is not going to be used. But that's okay, because you'll need to be gluing that part anyways. So, to start the wefts, you need to have a firm grip on the bottom of it and take your rubber band off. And keep in mind where your rubber band was, because you're going to be gluing from there up. So then you want to take a small piece off from the big part. And smaller is better because that means that you can have a lot more control over where you are going to be laying it on the wig. But you also don't want to have a bajillion wefts. You're already gonna have quite a few. So don't make them too small, but try not to keep them. I mean, try not to make them too big either. And another thing is, when you're laying it down, make sure that it is laying flat. You don't want to bunch it up or roll it or anything like that. Make sure that it's flat. But also make sure that there's not any like holes in between the hairs. Like, you want them all to be together. So you're going to lay it out on your wax paper. And then you want to get some of your Mod Podge onto your brush. And move this off for one moment. And then where the top is going to be, put some Mod Podge on the paper. And then wherever, remember the rubber band was, that's where you want to put this down. And then gently tap it. Try not to get the glue on your fingers or else the hair will stick to your fingers. And then get a little bit more Mod Podge onto your brush. And then put your finger down here and make sure it's a really, really like firm hold on the hair, or else you're going to get a lot more hair going up onto your brush than on the wax paper. And then start right at that line and brush the Mod Podge onto the hair. And you are going to get, see, you're going to get some pieces of hair onto the brush, but that's okay. It's to be expected. So I definitely suggest you have a piece of paper towel around just to wipe off any hair that might be on your brush so that you aren't making it worse and worse between every weft. So, and don't worry about it not being even on the top, because after we let this dry, we're gonna trim it. So don't worry about it being even, it's fine. And then you're just gonna let this dry, and then I will show you what to do next. Alright guys, so then when you have all your wefts glued down and they are all dried, you can take them off. You'll have something that looks kind of like this. The Mod Podge, if you're using Mod Podge, should be pretty much dry and a little bit shiny maybe. So you want to make sure that you grab all of the weft. Make sure you have a firm grip on all of it evenly. And then what you're going to do is pull up and pull your weft off of the wax paper. So you'll end up having something that looks like that. And next you're going to have to trim it. Alright, now that you've pulled your weft off of the sheet, you're going to want to trim it. So look to see where the base of the paint is, or I mean the glue, wherever the glue stops. And then from there above it, you want to leave about maybe like your pinky nail in length. Anywhere from like any of your finger, like your pinky to your like pointer finger nail. And And then you're just going to cut a straight line. So that is what it'll look like. And so you'll have a nice straight line across. And then what you want to do is also trim off the excess that is on the sides. And there might be 1 or 2 hairs that are on the sides, but that's okay. Because you don't want them coming out later. So you should be left with something that looks like this. Yep, so that is going to be your weft, and just do that with all of the wefts that you have. And then you can finally move on to putting the wefts onto the wig cap that you made.